Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today being Saturday, the 17th of April and the 6th day of March in the 9th year of Chongalguk. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Shuriat. Kyome. Padu. And let's recite our family pledge in Korean and English. Thank you.
가족만세 1. 전위국주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연 땅을 찾아 본연의 찬조 이사인 지산천국과 전산천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 1. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges to seek our original homeland and build the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. And yes, I'd like to ask Jeff Fires if you could offer the opening prayer. Thank you.
Our most beloved Heavenly Parents and True Parents, we are here together once again to join together our hearts, and especially that we can join our hearts with True Mother as she is guiding the providence, the fact that we were able to understand her incredible course, the course of our True Parents, coming to the knowledge of the only begotten daughter and how central and important this is in the providence of giving rebirth to your lost sons and daughters. We have come to an incredibly critical point in the dispensation when this great heavenly fortune is now being transferred to all the people of the world. We have a tremendously exciting and wonderful opportunity to be the ones who can usher in this new era, as our true parents have made all the conditions necessary for building the long-awaited kingdom that Jesus promised would come many thousands of years ago. It's come in our lifetime, a treasured opportunity based on tremendous conditions that our ancestors have made possible for us to meet true parents and to understand them and support us all this time in this heavenly mission. So we really thank you for this opportunity under Reverend Yamada's guidance and insight to share with us this deep course of true parents, so we can inherit this understanding that we need for our mission so we can be successful and victorious. We pray for our region of Oceania that we can surely build one nation of these 14 independent and nations and 9 territories of Oceania region, that we can make a wonderful region that we can offer up to our true parents. So thank you for us to be here this morning. I offer this prayer in the name of Jeffrey and Yuki Fires, who represent the Fires Center of his family. I pray, Aju.
Thank you. And welcome, everyone. And let's offer a good welcome to Reverend Yamada as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for coming today's morning devotion in Oceania and also all nations from Oceania region. Really, we put our heart together. This 14 nation and 9 territory, which our Reverend Jeffrey also prayed. We always concern how our mind and how our Heavenly Parents' mind and concern is going to each nation or each area. This kind of small heart and concern surely is becoming the foundation where God can work and also heavenly fortune is going together. So all our nation and our region totally unite with our heavenly parents and true parents, heart, providence, and we will continuously going forward. So each moment, really, I really appreciate everyone to join together. So today there is special event this evening, 5 p.m. Sydney time, Rally of Hope, Youth Rally of Hope. So maybe you saw the flyers. So they are preparing some exciting program. I hope also you join together and to support our Rally of Hope with Trimala. And yesterday also we had a breakout session. So we could see many persons' deep history because all of you are also special history and especially the mission experience and the meeting with God and the starting moment with God. So those moment was really exciting. So we could remind again and we could see again. So yesterday contents, we are talking about the world tour centering on true parents, 3 times world tour, and also deciding the holy ground and several conference and rally, and based on those foundation, true parents sent the missionary in 1975 to the world. The 4 representative nation, Japan, USA, and German, and Austria, and send them as a team and to send to the each mission country. So that time, going to another country is not the natural culture yet. Each nation or each world situation is not easily go to another country like this time. This time we are so much easy. Of course now because of COVID, this is special case. But now if we go to another country, buy the airplane ticket and immediately we can go to any kind of country. But 1975, how was that time the environment? Getting visa also not easy. Getting airplane ticket also not easy. But those situation, even maybe some member never imagine I will go to the mission country or I will become the missionary. But suddenly 3 parents call the people to assign them, to send them. So those environment, people felt it's not easy. But before that, 3 parents could understand this way is not simple way. And this mission is not simple mission, almost offer the life and risk of their life. But 3 parents should have to send them to the mission country. That's why behind of our missionaries, there was 3 parents, Chonsong and tears and heart was there. And because of those Chonsong and missionary, new history was created and also fruit of them, maybe some of us, and we are now connected and we are here. And during that kind of missionary time period, 3 parents once or twice a year, every time call the missionary to East Garden in United States, and they organize about the mission conference. So we can see this continuously, those contents today. One young missionary arriving at one such conference burst into tears upon seeing my husband and me. It was her first time meeting us, hearts that wanted to weep in joy and sadness. How could they be anything but that? The person who wanted to weep the most was me, but I knew if I did so, the happy occasion would turn into an ocean of tears. Therefore, with the heart of a strong mother, I embraced that young woman instead. The next day, I took all the missionaries out and bought them blouses and scarves or dress shirts and neckties. This looks good on you, I would say to each of them, adding, you have worked very hard. All missionary came to East Garden to meet true parents. And at that moment, all emotion, all feeling, and all heart is coming out. Then they burst into tears. When they are doing mission in their country, how much they are lonely and how much their pressure was heavy, because they are only person who are working behalf of their parents. If they could not stand, if they could not continue, how about that nation's future and that nation's life? They could not connect to parents anymore. They could not connect with heavenly parents anymore. And their life will be going to continuously going to the dark way. That's why their responsibility or their pressure or their mission was actually very heavy moment. But always they put themselves to stand and let them stand. They stand themselves and to find and seek God and seek true parents and patient many suffering and hardship. That's why when they met true parents, and also because true parents, because true mother could understand their heart, really embrace them and hug them and also love them in that moment. But together with my sincere consolation, I would ask them to be strong and press harder. If you sacrifice a little more on the way of the will, a peaceful world will come about in our time. Near the close of this conference, the missionaries would pledge their new resolve in front of God's will and depart again to the front line of His dispensation. My heart of loving admiration for our leaders and tribal messiahs who have left their homeland for the sake of humanity remains unchanged to this way. Tirmada encourage them, but in the same time have to press them, push them strongly. If you sacrifice a little more on the way of the will, a peaceful world will come about in our time. Even they know that there's difficult situation and suffering environment, but because of God's will, because of to create the new world, Tirmada also should have pushed them and pressed them. There is those kind of situation, want to love, want to embrace, want to console them, but also have to push them. There is the parents' heart and agony. There is also heavenly parents, also agony, the feeling. So based on those really investment or Johnson, each nation's history was started and each person are here today and now currently we are here. So I don't know today Reverend Ito is here or not. Reverend Ito, you are here? Have you been this conference before?
Yes.
Maybe you can share this, of course, mission time, but after mission, the parents call all the missionary to this mission conference in East Garden or that place, right?
Maybe this is another moment. Anyway, 5 years later, after we dispatched, 1980, 60th anniversary of True Parents, Father called first time for all missionary in New York. And at the time, Father mentioned about very important thing. What Father said is very important and necessary moment. I send to the world for necessary personnel. You know, at the time in America, Father was Day of Hope tour and very necessary, many member to support him. But Father necessary personnel, those missionaries, to send to the world. And while this time, and father said, while you are working overseas, I also work very hard in America for make a lot of things for the Day of Hope tour, many visit. And now we get together. So father's heart is very concerned us and share with us like this. We separated, now we met, in such a moment, father said like this.
Oh, that's great. Yes, thank you, Reverend Ito. So we could see this all mission providence and together the three parents mission and three parents providence. So I think maybe next week I will share the providence together. So not only one mission and one mission of providence by providence, all providence actually also interconnected at that moment. What kind of things happen in Korea, and especially three parents focus to USA, United States, to visiting the Yankee Stadium and Washington Monument. Many also the conference or rally, and also the national tour and rally of hope or day of hope. So many kind of providence working together in also Japan, in Europe, or any kind of area. So each area, they are missionary, totally invest, and also three parents behind of that also invested their risk of their life. So we could see those mission history. So that time period, it's not easy to call the people and also send a letter. But finally, they could meet each other after 5 years of the mission. So how much that moment, they are appreciate, grateful, and they are unite with three parents to determine and to go forward. And this mission history, not only 1975, before that, there are also several missionary, and even after that, I know our Mr. Arai also came as the missionary, business missionary, and also second wave, third wave of mission history to go to Africa, go to South America, and women's missionary, and also in Oceania case, there is also the mission wave, right? Also our Reverend Son, Dr. Yon came and send you as the missionary to restore the island nation, 14 island nations. So you are also one of the ancestors of the island nations. So all mission history and sacrificial offering or investment because of your heart. Now we could see the new life, a new connection, and new history. So we could really connect our heart with our three parents. Whenever we sent missionaries to unfamiliar lands, my husband and I held on to heaven and prayed earnestly for each one of them. In the 1970s and 1980s, the unification movement faced intense opposition the world over. An unknown party even sent a bomb threat to our church's Belvedere Training Center in Terrytown, New York. So that time, three parents sent the missionary to the world, even unknown land. But at the moment, mission itself is difficult because new place, new language, and not uncomfortable environment. But not only that, even external is difficult, but also they receive a lot of persecution, even threaten their life, and also bomb externally, those kind of attacking and also threaten was happened around even New York and even each country or each area. That much almost facing the serious environment and situation, because we think oppositely, that much our influence was bigger. If we don't have any kind of influence, why they try to stop three parents? Why they try to stop our unification movement? but that much our movement influence was stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why they also try to stop our movement. But the opposition was particularly intense in communist bloc countries due to our public speeches, rallies, and educational program to defeat Marxism-Leninism. We especially prayed for our missionaries who went into communist countries, as we knew there was the possibility of martyrdom to our sorrow. That concern became a reality. Even Japan sent a missionary over 127 countries, but especially these communist bloc countries, Eastern Europe or Middle East or that the European area, their opposition was really severe, and even there was the possibility of martyrdom, and also some became the reality and some really happened. In these Iron Curtain countries, surveillance, deportation, shadowing, and terror were our missionaries' everyday experiences. In 1973, in Czechoslovakia, the police arrested most of the core members. Almost 30 young people received prison sentence of up to nearly 5 years. Others were released but endured ongoing repression. In 1976 in France, unidentified assailant bombed our Villa Ablet Church in Paris, injuring 2 members. So under the Iron Curtain countries, under the communist country, there was those situations also happen. Even 30 young members were imprisonment that time. So those things is not only just a story, not only just a movie. Really, that was happened in our movement, and even our family members, our elder members, and our really blessed family members. Those things realistically was happened. 1976, 1980. Actually, this is not so much long time ago. Just same our lifetime. But during our lifetime in another country or another area, our young brothers and sisters, our missionary, really face their life of risk of their life. Even the person went to go to the spiritual world. So we could imagine those situations is happening together in the same time period. Our French members marched from the Eiffel Tower to the Trocadero, calling for religious liberty and winning the sympathy of many, many. Finally, when it was revealed that communists were involved in the bombing, prominent leaders, including US congressional members, publicly condemned the attack on religion. So even French, those situations was happen. That's why they had the rally and march to the street, and they tell them this is really problem. That's why finally the permanent leader, including United States, they also start to tell and publicly announce and condemn the attack of religion. That much, even freedom of the religion became the danger. So communist world and the free countries, those battle was happening, and our all missionary were middle in that place or front line in that place. So French and the European, I think also some of you were there. I'm not sure some of you are joining this march in France. So those situations was happened that time. So even worse tragedy occurred in the flower of her youth at the age of 24. Maria Jevna, one of the most faithful members in Czechoslovakia, died in a cold Bratislava jail cell in December 1980. In Tanzania, Japanese missionary Masaki Sasamoto was shot and killed, also giving his life as a martyr. Numerous missionaries in the United States and other countries lost their lives while on fundraising drive or in the course of outreach activities. So many people went through those kind of way and also lost their life in each mission countries. We had also those story many times. Despite such tragedy, the missionaries continued their work. In the 1980s, European missionaries working strategically behind the Iron Curtain called their project Mission Butterfly. The Butterfly missionaries cautiously witnessed despite the constant danger of being tracked by the secret police and arrested, forced to leave the country or worse. So maybe you heard about the Mission Butterfly. There is the special mission behind of the history, and actually they are working underground in each country in Eastern Europe, and some of them also lost their life. So a few years ago, there was musical in Korea about, I don't know, the Songfa ceremony time or foundation day. They had the musical centering on this Mission Butterfly Providence, and some of their child now became the UPA, Universal Peace Academy student, and also they came and joined that musical, and they show their story, their parents' story. So how much the painful story, but their children accepted all these parents' suffering and parents offering their life and appreciate and continuously receive and inherited the parents' will. So we could see that some kind of painfulness of history and also the foundation of our providence. In 1987, my husband and I quietly gathered the butterfly missionaries at our East Garden residence. We listened to their moving stories late into the night. There was no stopping the flow of tears. The missionaries shared from deep within their hearts stories that they had been unable to tell even their parents or brothers and sisters. Hearing their stories, we felt deeply concerned about their harsh circumstances. Every day is in the life of this situation. They don't know, today I can survive or not. Tomorrow I can survive or not. Some area already bombing every day. I had also one leader's story in Afghanistan. I think also Mr. and Mrs. Angelucci was there. The sister is there also. This Afghanistan every day bombing in the street, and also almost die and almost really their future they could not see. How I can survive today? How I can survive tomorrow? Those life they are living every day. That's why in the mission country, really severe situation. I think Mrs. Daniela also listened many story from your brothers. So when they came together in the conference, they met three parents. They could share those stories. How they could share those stories to their physical parents, physical father and physical mother. Maybe parents think, my daughter went to business, maybe travel, maybe sightseeing to that nation. They never imagine my children went there as the missionary, and they're doing those kind of mission underground. Parents never imagine, brothers and sisters never imagine how much these old missionaries miss their parents, want to see their parents, but they could not share their heart and they could not share their story. That's why when they met their parents, that place become the tears, and also they are bursting their heart. Every moment is survival time period, but even in the difficult moment, they could see God, they could meet God, and they could experience God directly in that place. Because these missionaries were viewed as enemies of the state, staying in their mission country was filled with risks, but they only intensified their prayers and faith in God. As one missionary said to us, I don't know when or where I will run into some kind of danger. I only know that my life is being directly supervised through God's revelation. If there is a dangerous situation, God appears in my dream and guides me along the path I should go. So those nations, actually, when government see the missionary, this missionary was enemy for the country. That's why severe situation. So, but always God guided them through dream and through revelation, and they could escape the difficult moment. So today we share about the missionary's story. I think maybe your friend who are missionary, you are in the USA, you are in the Europe and Australia, we could hear those life testimony. When we listen their story, even 1 day or 2 days is not enough. Those stories is endless stories. Maybe you could make some kind of a beautiful autobiography for your life. Yesterday also I listened, some of you really try to make an autobiography. This is really true. If you make an autobiography of your life in the mission area, mission country, this is become the historical document for the next generation, together with our heavenly parents and true parents. So when we remind, when we see and read those history, we could imagine how much serious environment was there, and true parents' investment was there, and true parents' tears was there. Through listening and inheriting, we remind again and we see again how about in current era and how about our future. Our purpose, our mission, our vision is same. How we can make a peaceful nation and peaceful world from our place, from our nation, and from our region. So our brothers and sisters, really connect our heart and connect with our true parents, true mother, and really share our blessing and to create new society, new nation, and new world. So thank you for joining today. And tomorrow is Anshi Il. That's why tomorrow our national leader of Vanuatu, Mr. Reverend Abel, will prepare tomorrow message. So please also support well and join together. So once again, we are really appreciate everyone to join together, to stand in the front line and to connect with our heavenly parents and true parents. Let's go forward to the world and offer the happiness and victory to the parents and heavenly parents. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Tucker, as always. Thank you. Yeah, welcome everyone. Today we're just sharing together, and Reverend Yamada really explained about the missionaries that suffered in the field and really sacrificed their lives, and yeah, during that I just was reminded of a brother. I mean, this is not quite a missionary in a foreign field. I was in the United States, and just a dedicated heart. this brother, his name's Dennis Feynman, and he joined our center in Tampa, Florida, and he was a Green Beret in the U.S. military, and not just a Green Beret is like the elite armed forces, and he when he heard the principle, he was deeply touched, and he decided to join our movement, and he wanted to offer full time, and but he couldn't leave the army because he signed up for life, and the only way he could leave is if some medical discharge, and that sort of thing happened while he was on one campaign, and he was jumping out of a plane. He shattered his foot on landing, and he got a medical discharge and was told he would never walk again. But his desire was to really serve our true parents, and a miracle happened. He ended up walking again, and he was not just any Green Beret. He was actually the elite within the elite. He was part of the bomb squad, so he was involved in many activities in Afghanistan and different places around the world. But he joined, and he became a very faithful member, and true parents were coming to our region and coming to visit Tampa itself and give a speech. And he was really wanting to meet Father for the first time, never met, and wanted to really do his best. So he went out and did a special fundraising condition. And while he was fundraising, he had lots of experiences, and he was on his way home late night, and he was crossing the road, and an accident occurred. He got hit by a car and spent 3 days in hospital, and then died there. And I was reflecting on people who died offering their lives for the mission, even though he wasn't in a mission field. He had so much potential. He was very charismatic. He was very faithful, very strong-minded, and his whole desire was to meet true parents and to give this offering, and he ended up offering his life for our true parents. And he offered his life numerous times as a patriot to America, but his greatest desire was to offer his life for our true parents. And another time I can give a story about what the father did after, but not today. I was just moved and remembering Dennis is always in my mind and heart, because we had a really good relationship, and it was very sad to see him go, but I know he was proud to offer himself to true parents, and he was willing to do anything at any time. So I was just reminded by that when I was listening to Reverend Yutaka today. So I'd like to ask some of the people that Reverend Yutaka mentioned to give some testimonies of that time of missionaries. If they're like Daniela or Silvana's got a hand up. Go ahead, you can go first, Silvana.
Good morning. Just I had even forgot those days, but as we were reading, I was in France in 1976 when the bomb went off at the Oblé Villa at the Oblé Center in Paris. We were in another center, in another training center, but that was not the only thing that happened. It was a very scary time in France. That bomb had some kind of a ripple effect in the negative way. Everybody felt the right to then cause trouble to the Unification Church. There was a center in Rennes where there was a mob managed to get up to the center, locked all the members in a room, and threw every literature, true parents' picture, divine principle, books, father speeches, whatever we had was thrown out of the window, and they made a big fire on the street. And I was in a workshop place, so I wasn't so much exposed to the street witnessing. Nevertheless, I did go as well. And we were advised to always carry a whistle to alert our brothers and sisters if we were in any trouble, because members were slapped on the street. I remember witnessing in Paris, in this Lyon, I was in Lyon, and a brother witnessed to somebody who pretended to want to listen to the principal, but when they were on the elevator, he got bashed, ended up in hospital with a broken nose. So it was very scary. And one night we had a call. The team mother got up and got everybody up because there was a bomb scare. So it was like that. The first half of 1976 was very, very scary. But at the same time, there was an incredible sense of unity amongst us, and that God really was with us. I remember one night I dreamed, and looking in the mirror, my face transformed into Yejinim. And I was Yejinim, and I kept saying in the dream, I'm the true daughter of true parents. Oh my God, I'm the true daughter. and God took care of us like that, many experiences like that. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, Daniela? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many of us here know about Umberto's experience. They shared, they wrote also on, I think the testimony came on one of the Today's Worlds as well. Yes, they obviously in Afghanistan it was a very dangerous country to living, and they were there with the two young children, with the two boys, Joshua and Yonghi were there as well. And so this is one experience where they came very close to really, losing their lives. So Umberto sent the Marilyn and the two boys. He sent them away because the Taliban were coming very close to the town where they were. And but Umberto felt he didn't want. There was an Afghanistan young member that was with them, and he was living with them in the center. And he felt, and Japanese sisters, and he felt they could not escape because they wouldn't allow this Afghanistan person to leave the country. So he decided to send the wife and the two boys away, and they hid, and they had under the center they have some hidden places where they were, and basically they had this experience where the Taliban actually pretty much. So they came to know this story after the Taliban's. So they pretty much came very close to their town, but they didn't reach the place where they were. And because Umberto, they're very close to one of the Afghanistan. It was like called a police person, and then they came to know the story why they didn't continue, but they kind of stopped the Taliban because Afghani people are very spiritual people. And actually, the reason why they didn't proceed was they felt at that time Hunjinin had passed away, and they saw this vision of this person on this white horse. So they became very frightened, and they actually, stopped advancing. And pretty much, that was the reason why they didn't get killed. And so they could then go away, and Umberto and they were safe. But obviously, when they went out, there was a lot of, even dead bodies on the streets, and so they had caused a lot of destruction and killed a lot of people just very close to them. So it was very, dramatic at that point. And then they decided to, after not a long time, they were advised to go to India. And so they worked in India with Afghani refugee children. So they continued working in there.
Wow. Thank you, Daniela. Yes, Greg Henson, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add from Sabrina's talk that I was in Rennes at that time that the mob came. I seemed like quite a few hundred. I was supposedly guarding in the nighttime, so I was in the guard room sleeping when they came up the stairs and they bashed down the door with an iron pole. It was a very thick kind of door with a little peephole, and they came in. And I remember my future wife was there, Elisa, and they all got together and held hands and they were praying. So as they were throwing the pictures out the window and destroying all the files and all our records and things, the members were just praying together, and they didn't touch the members. It was just amazing. But the next day, of course, we had the meeting and we prayed, and then we decided anyway to go out. So we went out again and started to witness in the street after this huge event. And sometimes we were hit and other things. But one story I remember was that Elisa, my future wife, and myself, we decided to pray and to sing. So we were singing in some park or some place, I can't remember where, but the police came and they took us in. So they arrested us for apparently singing. So we spent about 3 hours in the police station as they checked everything and then let us go. But it was such an incredible experience that time, very tense. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, Douglas, go ahead. And then after that, Jacinta.
In New York, we had a lot of missionary members, and one that was from France. Sylvana may know her. I can't remember her name. Her father was a diplomat, and she was a member of the church, and she was delivering Newsworld in Harlem. And it was considered dangerous because she was, especially early in the morning before she went to work, also at the UN. And she was killed, dragged up to a rooftop, killed, and thrown off the rooftop. So it was a very big event, a sad, tragic thing that happened. And the response to it was that within 2 weeks, there were 6 members that moved out to Harlem, and into the same area where she died. And it came to be known that, they could walk around in the early morning or late at night, and they never felt endangered, or they always felt protected by the spirit world, by Heavenly Parent. And so that's all.
Thank you. Okay, Jacinta, go ahead.
I just thought I'd mention that the 3 island brothers and sisters that were killed here in Australia in the 80s on a fundraising mission, Kura, Jemima, and John. I think one of them was from Samoa, but they were the first
So now I would know them.
Yeah, now I would know them. That's right. It would be really good if that could be written up in as a part of the mission, or not missionary, I suppose it was a missionary from the islands to Australia. In many ways, when the islanders came to Australia, they were witnessing to us. Yeah, I thought so, yeah. Because they had such a strong faith in God, and they sang beautifully, and they brought this whole new spirit to Australia that we didn't have. And it was really beautiful. And yeah, so I thought we've really benefited from them.
One was a European brother, John Edmonds, and one sister, Tikura, was from the Cook Islands, and Jemima was from Samoa.
Yeah, we have time for another person. Yep. Jacinta Moreau, yep, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, our family was in New Caledonia, which is a French territory. At least myself only for 3 years, but my husband was there for about 10 years in mission. But we had life-threatening situation in 1996. So this is 20 years after what we were just talking about in France. What happened is that we were very active in the mission at the time. My husband had gone with 3 leaders, one from New Caledonia, one from Wallis-Futuna, and one from French Polynesia, to the inauguration of the Family Federation for Unification and World Peace in America. And the one from New Caledonia was actually one of only 2 senators that were representing New Caledonia in France. So we had really touched the top leaders. And in fact, this was the indigenous leader. There was one indigenous leader and there was one French leader. So soon after he came back, he had a lot of pressure put on him, and he actually passed away a couple of months after he went to New York. And ourselves, we had a sign sprayed on the wall of the Territorial Congress. There was like a target, and it said moon, like with a target sign. And then on the other wall, it had Moro bientôt ton heure, like Moro soon your time. So it was like a death threat. And the police came, and they were actually guarding where we were living at the time. We had also 2 small boys at the time. And then we were witnessing as well, and we had one young French man staying with us in our center. And unbeknownst to us, he actually was rifling through our papers. And we ended up with one of our reports to World Mission Department in the newspaper. So it was really getting really intense. So that was then at the beginning of 1997, we heard about the opportunity to go to Chomphyon. So we thought we better go. We left our 2 young children with a previously married blessed couple, and I was breastfeeding the second one at the time. And we went to Korea and participated in a 40-day workshop. And this was actually after the National Messiah Providence had already finished. But then at that workshop, we were actually given the opportunity, if we wanted, to apply for national messiahship. And my husband had already been approached 3 times by France, even though we were a young couple, 1992 couple, to be part of the National Messiah Providence. And he always said, no, that's for older couples. But anyway, during this workshop, I think it was really God's hand, allowing us the opportunity to be national messiahs. And then we picked up Samoa. And it was, I felt it was really a protection on our family that we could move from New Caledonia to Samoa. And also was an opportunity for us to move from a territory which was not really in the mainstream of the province to one of the nations. Yeah, so that was a very intense time, and yeah, we felt God's hand working over us and our family.
Yeah, thank you, Jacinta.
One more.
Yeah, one more. Okay.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, and Reverend Yutaka's the message, some missionary was sacrificed. When the Masaki Sasamoto, Tanzania missionary. He was shot to death and martyred. At the moment, we are told somebody must sacrifice in the mission field. We told. So I thought, if it's me, I'm not ready. I thought in my mind. And that day when it happened to Masaki Sasamoto, I also was in a motorcycle accident. I was my motorcycle was slide down, and I was fell on the middle of the street. I was, before I did gymnastic, I rolling down to the side, so I was safe. If at the time car coming, I was maybe finished. And Masaki Sasamoto was not originally missionary, I think, the Tanzania, but he went there, and the police, or maybe army, I don't, come to his home and asking, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Masaki Sasamoto." And they fire, because in Tanzania language, Masaki means fire. Shoot. His name, So he was shot. God chose him like this. Really, my experience like this, I thought, yeah. So we are told like this, and this kind of just say it's my experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, we're at that time now for us to share our unison prayer together. So I'll just change screen and we can pray together. Okay, let's begin. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day, and see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye, Kenji.
You have a good day. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Love you.